When it feels as though every door in your life is closing, when opportunities vanish one by one, and the pathway forward becomes tangled, uncertain, and dark, it's natural to wonder why. It is tempting to let hopelessness seep in, to think that disappointment and failure are all you have to look forward to. Yet, if you look beneath the surface, draw a deep breath, and allow your heart to listen in the silence, you may sense something greater at work, a story being written that is bigger and better than you could imagine. Consider the moments in your life that seemed like endings. Perhaps it was the dream job you interviewed for, rehearsed for in your mind, prayed about, and yet unexpectedly, the call never came. The relationship you poured your heart into, only to watch it dissolve in confusion. The plan you were certain would chart your future, suddenly crumbling before your eyes. All along the way, those closed doors felt like rejection, defeat, and sometimes punishment. But what if those doors closed not to harm you, but to make room for something better? What if instead of ending, every closed door was a hidden invitation to trust, to pause, and to wait for a greater plan patiently, unfolding just beyond your vision? Throughout history and across faith traditions, there is a powerful truth that echoes. When it looks like everything is ending, something bigger is beginning. In the Christian faith, this is not simply a comforting thought, but a promise. God's plans are always greater, wiser, and filled with meaning. Sometimes wrapped in mystery, but always designed for your good, according to his purpose. Look to the story of Joseph in the Bible, sold into slavery by his own brothers, betrayed, falsely accused, and imprisoned. That's a succession of closed doors if there ever was one. Yet, through each setback, each moment that could be seen as abandonment by God, a new opportunity was being prepared. Joseph was eventually raised to a position of power and influence, saving countless lives in a time of crisis. Looking back, he declared to the very brothers who wronged him, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." The very door slammed in Joseph's face became the passage through which God's greater plan entered history. It is often in the darkness of disappointment that our faith can take root most deeply. When comfort and control are stripped away, when nothing but faith remains, we are given the rare opportunity to grow. Closed doors force us to look up, to seek comfort beyond our own understanding, and to develop the resilience that only comes from learning to trust in uncertainty. It is here that we learn the beauty of surrendering our own limited plans in exchange for God's greater story. Of course, waiting for a new door to open can be excruciating. The silence, the ache of loss, and the riddles of unanswered prayers press heavily on the soul. Yet these seasons of waiting are not wasted. Far from being moments of inactivity or despair, they are seedbeds for transformation. Perhaps God is teaching you to lean not on your own understanding, but to acknowledge Him in all your ways. Perhaps He is strengthening your character, deepening your empathy, or preparing you to comfort another person on a similar path. Sometimes, the greater plan isn't only about you. Your journey could be the key that unlocks someone else's miracle in the future. Think about a door shutting as an invitation, not to bitterness or self-pity, but to hope and new beginnings. Is it possible that not getting what you desperately wanted might be the greatest blessing? Could it be that left to your own devices, you might have settled for less than what was truly meant for you? Sometimes, it is in absence that we come to appreciate the presence of something far more valuable. God's greater plan is not always revealed in grand moments of clarity, but in gentle whispers and daily guidance. In hindsight, so many people realize that the worst moments of their lives forged the strongest parts of their character. The path that forced them to their knees was also the path that led to wisdom, compassion, and a strength they never knew they possessed. The closed doors taught them to trust, and the waiting rooms of life became sacred ground where hope was rekindled. This is not to say that pain and disappointment are easy to bear, or that you must always feel grateful in the moment. Even Jesus, on the night before his crucifixion, prayed in anguish, longing for a different way forward. Yet he trusted in the greater plan, surrendering to a purpose that would bring hope and life to the world. The agony of Gethsemane and the darkness of Calvary were not the end, but a passage to resurrection, a new beginning that changed everything. When every door seems to close, it's essential to remember that God is not limited by human definitions of opportunity or success. Sometimes, what we call failure is, in truth, divine redirection. What we see as ending is often the turning of a page in a greater story, one that requires faith, patience, and courage to step boldly into the unknown. Perhaps you are wrestling with doors that have closed recently. Perhaps dreams have died, relationships have shifted, opportunities have slipped through your fingers. Know this, you are not alone. Countless others have walked through the valley of disappointment and emerged with stories of hope and redemption. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Consider asking, What could God be making room for in my life? In the waiting, practice gratitude for what you do have and cultivate trust in the possibility of new beginnings. Pray for eyes to see beyond the closed doors, for the courage to step forward even when the destination is hidden. At times, a greater plan may come to pass through unexpected means. A chance encounter, a new relationship, a skill you never thought to pursue. These may be the keys God uses to unlock your next season. Doors may close, but windows of grace open in their place. The interruptions to your agenda may be divine appointments set along a higher path, one that unfolds in perfect timing. There is a story behind every unopened door. Friendships that grew strong in the face of adversity, characters refined in trial, callings discovered in loss. Some doors may close to protect you from harm you cannot see, others so that your gifts can flourish elsewhere. Over time, you will see that every no made space for a yes bigger and better than you imagined. Holding on to faith doesn't mean denying the pain of disappointment. It means believing in purpose even when you cannot see it. It means trusting that God's wisdom is greater than your own and that what He withholds today may be the very thing that saves, shapes, or propels you further tomorrow. It means remembering that even when the way ahead seems blocked, He is working behind the scenes, preparing a way, opening a door, restoring hope, and leading you forward. Whenever despair tries to take root, let go of the myth that your worth or future is determined by a single moment or closed door. Your story is still being written, and the author has not finished his work. Every delay, every twist, every seeming detour may become the setup for an unexpected breakthrough. So as you face closed doors in your life, those sudden endings, the rejections, the forks in the road, take heart. Know that you are held within a greater plan, crafted with love and intention. Trust that the path that seems blocked may lead you to green pastures beyond your current sight. Rest in the promise that God's ways are higher than yours and that He is able to turn every ending into a new beginning. Let your prayer in these seasons be one of surrender and expectation. Ask not only for open doors but for the wisdom to recognize them when they come. Seek not only solutions to your immediate problems but the strength to walk in faith even when you cannot see what lies ahead. One day when you look back, you may find yourself grateful for unanswered prayers, for the paths diverted, for the doors that close with aching finality. For it is then that you will recognize the fingerprints of grace, subtle, steady, and sure, guiding you toward a greater purpose, one that far exceeds your own plans. In every disappointment, there is the potential for discovery. In every loss, a chance for new growth. And with every closed door, a greater plan quietly, powerfully, and lovingly unfolds. If you listen with your heart, you may just hear the sound of new doors opening, leading you into the next chapter designed specifically for you. A chapter filled with hope, meaning, and blessings beyond what you could ever imagine.